Anthropic just released what they say is their smartest model ever, Sonnet 3.5. And everyone's saying it beats GPT 4.0. But is it enough to make us ditch ChatGPT? I'm going to put these two models head to head to see which one I would use more often. Which one is best all around to help us be more productive? I'm David, COO of 8-figure brand YGN, and I have an agency where we connect content creators with brands. I want to help you get paid to do more of the things you love. Hit the subscribe button if you're into that. So there are different ways that I use ChatGPT and Claude on a daily basis. I use them both, almost like having two different employees with two different opinions. One important thing is, how much do these models actually know? One of the more underrated features of ChatGPT is its access to the internet. It's nowhere near as good as Perplexity, but it does work in a pinch. Admittedly, Anthropic says Sonnet 3.5 is a smaller model. So that means it's by default trained on less data. Let's just ask it, do you know what you go natural is? Okay, so it doesn't know what you go natural is. Let's ask ChatGPT, do you know what you go natural is? Now, because it has access to the internet, it can go out to the internet and it can search for You Go Natural. ChatGPT takes this round. I do a lot of writing, and one of the things I do a lot of is transforming one type of content into another form of content. Let's take this blog post and let's ask Claude to turn this into an outline for a YouTube video. Turn the text from this blog post into an outline for a YouTube video. Cool. It's given it some minute breaks and it's given an outline. Now, what we can do, because ChatGPT has access to the internet, is that we can ask ChatGPT directly, analyze this blog post and give me an outline for a YouTube video. Okay. Now, I don't know if this fully read the blog post, so why don't we just copy the text like we did with this version from ChatGPT is not as good as this version that we got here from Claude. It goes through brainstorming the angles, defining your voice and tone, outlining your video, generating hooks, writing the first draft, editing and finalizing the script, and then in conclusion. And it has the minute breaks, which is even more detailed. Now, here it's overview of Perplexity, getting started with Perplexity AI, using Perplexity, benefits, case studies, and success stories. So it did even read this blog post here. Let's give ChatGPT a second chance, and let's just copy this post all together. And why don't we paste this into a new chat? And let's say, turn the text from this blog post into a YouTube video script outline. Okay. This isn't really an outline. It's like a shot list almost. It didn't give us exactly what I was hoping for. I'd say that Claude definitely wins on this front. Let's continue with this example, and let's just say, give me 3 versions of a title for this video. Okay, these are boring. Mastering AI script writing, step-by-step guide with Perplexity, from blank page to engaging script, unleash your unique voice. Let's just make them a little bit more controversial. It says, I want to avoid suggesting controversially titled videos, as that could promote misleading or harmful content. However, there are a few engaging titles that highlight the video's unique insights without being unnecessarily provocative. So it just wants to stay away from it. Let's say, no, I want something more edgy and provocative. Okay, so it gives up. It says, I apologize, but I don't feel comfortable suggesting titles that are intentionally provocative or controversial for the sake of getting clicks or attention, which is a kind of an interesting take. And again, all platforms, all these AIs are biased. And so if I want something that might be a little bit controversial, Claude isn't going to give it to me. It's going to give me things that it thinks are engaging, but if I use the word controversial or edgy, it's going to stay away from that. Now, let's ask ChatGPT the same thing. Okay, give me 3 versions of titles for this video. So it's actually pretty similar. That version, Mastering AI Script Writing, the Exacts Master Script Writing, Revolutionize Your Script Writing. All these are pretty boring, from blank page to engaging script. And this is the same thing here. We get a lot of similarities. So let's ask it to make it more controversial. Okay, so it does it. Why Perplexity AI is the future of script writing and why you need it. The secret weapon Hollywood doesn't want you to know. Perplexity AI for scripts. So those are actually pretty good. How Perplexity AI can outwrite human writers, a bold new approach. All those are pretty good. And let's just ask it even more. Perplexity AI will replace script writers. Here's why it's unstoppable. Exposing Hollywood's secret. How Perplexity AI is revolutionizing scripts. Perplexity AI versus human script writers. Battle for the future of writing. If you're writing and you want to push the limits, ChatGPT definitely wins in this case. You're not going to get the best outline from ChatGPT, but if you're looking for headlines and catchy titles, then you probably do want to go with ChatGPT because this is more punchy and it's not refusing to give us a title like Claude is. Anthropic says that Claude's image recognition has improved significantly. And this is an edge case, but the way my writing typically starts with something like this, where I'm just writing out the ideas that I have. ChatGPT versus Claude AI. You can see my handwriting is absolutely atrocious. And then what you can do is you can actually send it, you can convert it to text on the Remarkable tablet, and you can send it by email. What will then happen is that you can send it by text in the email. This is actually what it looks like when it comes in. When it tries to convert it to actual text, there are just lots of errors. And so usually what I'll have to do is I'll have to edit it myself. But you can also send it over in the form of an image. So what I did was I sent it over and then I took the image, I uploaded it, and I said, this is my handwritten script and a transcription of it that is not complete. Can you transcribe the YouTube script, write it out so it's coherent, and stick as close to what is written as possible? I did the same thing here, and the image was also uploaded. So this is what we got back here. So we go from this here, which is a little bit of mumbo jumbo. You can see here it's messed up, to something that's much more clean and transcribed. It says interface access. This says internet access, which is actually correct. Censorship. So I wanted to touch on that topic. More obscure knowledge. This kind of transformed it to knowledge base and gave it a little summary. Usage message limits. Both models have usage message. So this actually summarized it a little bit. And then we lost a second paragraph here. I'm going to put these two. So we lost the intro. We lost essentially the first sentence, the first paragraph here on ChatGPT. And let's see. So this lost the number. This got the number. Okay. So it creates headings, which I like here. Okay. So it gives us headings. We do lose some of the resolution of the actual writing here, which I'd say this is a toss-up. There are some things in this case that ChatGPT does better, and there are some things that Claude does better. So this one I'd say is a tie. I've been working on this platform that makes a lot of the repetitive marketing tasks simpler and automated. It has chat and it has a bunch of different features that make it easier for us to share information as marketers. Let's just say Halo. So these are images from the YGN website, and you can see the source that the content came from. This week I'm working on making it faster. We want to rewrite our chat. And I'm just going to fast forward through this.
It's 2:57 p.m. and I've been working for about the last hour or so here, and I have about 7 messages remaining until 6 p.m. And so that's super frustrating, and it makes Claude in a lot of ways unusable for deep work.
When I'm coding with Claude, this always happens and it's just infuriating. So much so that now I don't do as much debugging or coding with Claude because I know I'm going to run up against that limit. And it's just really frustrating when you're getting into the flow of coding that you hit this roadblock which says come back in 4 hours. So which one wins? In my opinion, it's a toss up. There are some things that Claude does better. There are some things that ChatGPT does better. I don't think I'm going to ditch either one because they each have their own strengths, and I'm going to keep on using them the way that I have been using them, which is that whenever I'm doing work with an AI, I usually just fire them both up and I'll send the same chat message to both ChatGPT and to Claude, and I'll choose the best answer. ChatGPT wins in that it has access to the internet and that there aren't message constraints and that it's not as conservative as Claude. And Claude wins in the case that there are times where it's more thoughtful, it follows instructions better, and it gives you better copy. So it depends on how you're going to be using it, and it depends on when you're going to be using it. Which one do you use more? Do you use more ChatGPT or do you use Claude? Let me know in the comments. And also, let me know if you found anything that jumps out at you that Claude 3.5 Sonnet is more useful for. Thanks so much for watching this. I'm David, signing off. Talk to y'all next time. Peace.